here. Merab mentioned today that the UFC gifted Umar a title shot. What is your response to that statement?
This is his problem, Merab problem. I think when he beginning his career, he was acting good. I think when he become champion, he cannot deal with this.
Khabib Nurmagomedov has threatened Merab Dvalishvili for disrespecting his cousin Umar Nurmagomedov, warning him to show respect or face consequences. Merab Dvalishvili recently criticized Umar Nurmagomedov's rise in the UFC, claiming that Umar often complains about not getting fights and that his path to the top has been too easy. He pointed out that there are many strong fighters in the division, like Bautista, himself, and others, who deserve a chance. But Umar gets attention without truly earning it in Merab's view.
But Umar somehow gets easy. He just complains all the time. Nobody want to fight him, but there is so many good fighters. There is Bautista, there is other fighters, they're killers, you know, even Jackson, I forget his first name.
Merab felt that Umar's victory over Corey Sandhagen didn't showcase his wrestling skills, and that Umar often uses excuses to justify his position, claiming he beat a top contender and now faces a big challenge. Merab also criticized Umar for being cocky rather than humble, suggesting that he doesn't carry himself like a true UFC fighter. He felt Umar disrespected him online, which Merab took personally. Merab believes that a real fighter should earn their way to the top and remain respectful rather than acting arrogantly despite the challenges ahead.
Yeah, he fought only Sandhagen, no wrestling, and because I guess he's using this excuse. He beat number 2 guy, and now he's here, and then it's a big challenge. But I just only what I hate, he just don't earn it like how real like UFC fighters should earn it, and then he just cocky, you know. He should be humble least, and then, but he was disrespect me online. Then that's what real men should do.
Khabib Nurmagomedov responded strongly to Merab Dvalishvili's comment that the UFC gifted Umar a title shot. Khabib made it clear that Umar deserves the opportunity because of his impressive record, not because of family connections. He explained that Umar has built his career with hard work, achieving an 18-0 record and 6 straight wins in the UFC. Khabib also pointed out that Umar recently fought in a 5-round main event against a tough opponent, Corey Sandhagen, and still came out on top. For Khabib, this shows that Umar is not just a good fighter, but a fighter who earns respect through his actions in the cage.
Here, Merab mentioned today that the UFC gifted Umar a title shot. What is your response to that statement?
This is his problem, Merab problem. About Umar gift, Umar is 18-0 and he's 6-win streak in UFC, and they give him very tough opponent last fight, 5-round main event versus Corey Sandhagen. I think Umar deserve.
Khabib also reflected on how difficult it can be to transition from a regular fighter to a champion. He explained that life changes completely once someone becomes a champion, and it's a challenge to manage the pressures that come with it.
I think when he beginning his career, he was acting good. I think when he become champion, he cannot deal with this. Because life changing. Before champion and after champion, there is 2 life. You have to deal with this.
Despite this, Khabib emphasized that Umar is handling it well. He stressed that Umar's success is not just due to being Khabib's cousin, but because of his own talent and dedication. Khabib made it clear that Umar has earned his place at the top with his record and skill, and this is not something that can be dismissed by others.
And I don't know why Merab nervous, but I think Umar deserve. Umar here not because he is my cousin. He's here because he's 18-0 and 6-0 in UFC.
Finally, Khabib addressed why Merab might be feeling nervous about Umar's rise in the sport. He believes that Umar is different, and he is on a mission to create his own legacy. Khabib is confident that Umar will prove himself in his upcoming fight and show why he deserves to be in the title picture. Khabib expressed pride in his cousin, saying that Umar's journey is his own, and that he will demonstrate why Merab's criticism is misplaced.
Umar wanna create his legacy. Umar, his name is Umar, first of all. My name is Khabib. He's different, you know, he's different human, you know. He will show 18 January. He will show why Merab nervous.
Umar Nurmagomedov himself replied to the criticism, including from Merab Dvalishvili, by saying he doesn't care about their opinions. He pointed out that while others can focus on making a name for themselves, his main goal is to establish his own legacy. Umar stressed that he's not concerned with the personalities of other fighters and is only focused on winning the title, regardless of how people view his journey.
They said he don't deserve, he have to fight.
From top 15, he only win 1 fight.
Hey guys, I don't care about you. I just need belt. You can keep belt. belt and leave. I just will come and take. I don't need your name, I don't interesting, I don't have anything personality with you. I just want this belt.
Nick Pete shared that he was initially leaning towards Merab Dvalishvili, but after considering Umar Nurmagomedov's unbeaten momentum, he now believes it's unstoppable. Pete pointed out that Umar and Merab were set to match up earlier in the year, and he feels Umar's dominance will lead him to become champion by the end of 2025.
Last year, I was dying to stick with Merab, but I just think the unbeaten momentum of Umar Nurmagomedov cannot be stopped. They matched up at the start of the year as well. I'm going with Umar, champion, end of 2025.
Joaquin Buckley acknowledged that both Umar and Merab have strong grappling skills, but he believes Merab has a few more tools at his disposal. He expressed particular interest in seeing how Umar's conditioning holds up against Merab's. Buckley also shared a point from his brother, Edry Dill, saying that when two grapplers face off, they often end up thinking they're strikers. He could see Merab using his striking to showcase a bit of a clinic against Umar in the fight.
That's a good one as well, but I think Merab got a little bit more tools, that he can use, and I'm especially intrigued just to see how Umar's conditioning compares to Merab as well. So, as much as, I would think that, both of these guys will go out there grappling, one thing that my brother Edric Diller will always say, when you got two grapplers in the cage, they eventually think they strikers, so I can see Merab, putting on a little striking clinic on Umar.
Michael Bisping explained that he initially favored Umar due to his undefeated record, but after seeing Merab's performance at UFC 310, he changed his mind. Bisping appreciated Merab's passion, especially his fired-up moments with the crowd and at the press conference. He believes Merab is highly motivated for the fight. Although Bisping admits he could be wrong, he's now picking Merab to defeat Umar, just for fun.
Nurmagomedov. Yeah, I'm going to switch this one up as well, because I had Umar, because he is undefeated and all the rest of it. But I like what I saw from Merab at UFC 310. I liked seeing him kicking off in the crowd. I liked seeing him lose his mind at the press conference, and he's taking it so personal and so serious. I believe he does it. I think Merab gets through him. Maybe I'm wrong, but just for the fun, that's what we'll say.
Jamie Lynn Horth stated that he's picking Merab to win, citing his momentum from his recent performance. He believes Merab has the right tools and style to secure the victory, which gives him confidence in choosing Merab for the win.
Merab, he's just coming off that last one, and I think he's got the momentum, and I think he's got the tools and the style, so I'm going to take Merab on that as well.
Davison Figueiredo views Merab Dvalishvili's stamina and aggressive approach as pivotal in exhausting Umar Nurmagomedov throughout a 5-round fight. Figueiredo thinks that Merab's capacity to keep up a fast pace for the entire duration will be the key to gaining the upper hand, particularly as the fight progresses into the later rounds, where the consistent intensity could wear down Umar's endurance.
Enxergo o braço do Merab sendo levantado.
I tend more for Merab. The reason why I do this is his strike is not refined, but he manages to use that to tie people and confuse people, and so he can get them down. On the other hand, Umar is a guy that knows how to submit from the bottom, so there is that risk for Merab. But after 5 rounds, I see Merab's hand being raised.
Former UFC champion Luke Rockhold, well-versed in what it takes to achieve greatness, picked Umar Nurmagomedov as the favorite for the fight. Rockhold shared his thoughts, expressing confidence in Umar's skills and potential to secure the win. Luke said, "Umar is the next generation where he's so fluid and so creative. This is a tough matchup, a tricky, tough, hard-nosed dude. I think that's where Umar can win. Umar can beat him everywhere, really. He can outstrike him, and then Merab can shoot in. Umar can counter him and get to his back. I'm telling you, he's better than him everywhere, really." Later, Luke Rockhold confidently stated that Umar will have the fight in the bag, predicting he will overpower Merab. Rockhold revealed his belief that Umar's strength and skill would be too much for Merab to handle. He added, "When you think about it, you go, oh, that's a tough matchup for Umar. But when you start really looking at it, and you're like, he's going to outstrike Merab, and then Merab's going to get frustrated, so he shoots in, Umar's going to counter him, he's probably getting to a dominant position, and then they go back up. I don't see that fight going any other way." Sean O'Malley stated that while he thinks Umar could defeat Merab, he's not entirely certain. He mentioned that Umar appeared strong, but his skills didn't seem exceptional. O'Malley acknowledged that Umar is good, but not great, and that strength played a major role when they faced off. He added that he will reassess his position when he returns and sees how the division evolves.
Do you think Umar would beat him?
I do think Umar might beat him low-key, which it is what it is. We'll see where I'm at, or where the division's at when I get back, but I think Umar definitely could beat Merab. He's not great. He's just good. He felt strong, but his skills didn't feel like great. He just felt stronger than me, and it is what it is. But yeah.
Kamaru Usman also shared his respect for Umar on his podcast, highlighting how he appreciates Umar's mindset. Usman mentioned that he could relate to the challenges and doubts Umar faced early in his career, drawing parallels to his own experiences with skepticism. Usman offered his support to Umar, wishing him the best as he rises through the bantamweight ranks and possibly joins the ranks of other successful members of the Nurmagomedov family.
I like your just mentally, I like where you're at, and I like the way you think about it, because I was in a similar position to where I wanted to fight with Wonder Boy at the time, and they said the same thing to me, don't deserve it. And I wanted to fight with everybody in the top 5, and they say the same thing to me, you don't deserve it. Don't deserve it. No, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him.
Adam Catterall initially picked Umar to win, but after seeing Merab's fiery attitude and his confrontations with everyone around him, he considered changing his pick. Catterall noted that Mike was saying the same thing about Merab's intensity, but in the end, he decided to stick with his original pick of Umar to win the fight.
He's going to be Umar, but I might change my mind now, having seen that Merab's kicking off with everybody, that he's going against him and
Mike's just
picking
said
other
that.
fellas.
Mike's just said exactly what you're saying now.
But I'm going with Umar. No, he's going with Merab.
Oh, you're going to stick with Umar, are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Umar.
Lucas Tracy stated that he is picking Umar Nurmagomedov to win 50-45 against Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 311, predicting Umar will take every round. He noted that part of his prediction is based on Merab's last performance, as well as Umar's dominant showing against Corey Sandhagen.
I'm picking Umar by 50-45. I am picking Umar Nurmagomedov to 50-45 Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 311 to take every single round from him. And yes, a big part of that has to do with Merab's last performance, and it also has to do with Umar's schooling of Corey Sandhagen.
Joshua Van shared that he's picking Merab to win, mentioning that he had a good moment with him in the back room. He expressed his support for Merab, saying he has to go with him for the fight.
Merab is cool as shit, you know what I mean? So I had a moment with him in the back room and stuff like that. So I have to go with Merab, man.
Joe Rogan praised Umar's potential to become a champion, highlighting his impressive victory over Iago Barcelos, a fighter who had never been beaten in that fashion. Rogan emphasized that a fight between Umar and Merab would be pivotal for Umar's rise in the bantamweight division. He also pointed out the contrast in fighting styles between Umar and his cousin Khabib Nurmagomedov, noting that while Khabib's style is different, Umar's approach is equally remarkable.
You know, and Umar has a real potential to be the champion. He really does, man. He's good, dude. And Honey Barcelos is no joke.
Yeah.
Honey is really good. And for him to take him out like that,
nobody's
very,
ever beat him like that.
No.
And
yeah, Merab versus Umar is interesting. That would be the big fight to get Umar right to the top.
Think about like what you've got now with like Nurmagomedov. He steps down, but then you have Umar.
He looks great.
Phenomenal. Completely different style.
Yep.
Billy Quarantillo expressed that he's picking his Long Island teammate Merab to win the fight. While he acknowledged Umar's strong pedigree and success in his previous matches, Quarantillo believes Merab can neutralize Umar's wrestling better than anyone else. He emphasized that Merab's pace could be a decisive factor in the fight, even though he might be the underdog. Ultimately, Quarantillo is sticking with his guy, Merab Dvalishvili.
I'm going to take the Long Island boy Merab in that one just because he's my boy. I think Umar, obviously, he has the pedigree, and he has a great in all of his fights. But I think Merab can kind of neutralize his wrestling a little bit more than anyone else could. And with Merab's pace, I think he can get that one done. Obviously, he's probably going to be an underdog, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm going to rock with my guy, Merab, in that one.
Henry Cejudo expressed that Merab Dvalishvili's run is likely coming to an end, as Umar Nurmagomedov is simply too dangerous. Cejudo highlighted Umar's ability to take opponents down, his excellent control, striking, and distance recognition. When asked about a potential fight with Umar, Merab's response was evasive, focusing on generic praise for the UFC and other topics. Cejudo pointed out that if Merab avoids fighting someone like Umar, the UFC will eventually make him face him, and his career as champion could be over. Cejudo emphasized that avoiding such a dangerous fighter would harm Merab's future.
Merab Dvalishvili, his run is going to run out. Umar is just too dangerous. Umar could take him, could take him down as well. He's got good top control. He's got great striking, good distance recognition. And when they asked Merab Dvalishvili the question, Umar Nurmagomedov is here. What do you think about your potential fighting next? He's like, oh, I love the UFC. I love Dana White. Global warming. Let's make America great again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he never really answered the question. If you don't fight a guy like Umar, the UFC is gonna make you fight a guy like Umar. Your career as a champion is pretty much done.
Dominic Cruz praised Merab for being the type of champion he admires. He noted that Merab is always willing to take on any opponent, promoting the division and doing his best to elevate it. Cruz also highlighted Merab's non-stop, action-packed fighting style. While he acknowledged the difficulty of Merab's approach, he emphasized that Merab forces the grappling, making him a tough challenge for anyone.
I like Merab a lot. I like the type of champion that he just is in general. He's willing to take all customers. He's promoting the division, doing the best he can with that. And he fights non-stop action. Now it's tough. What you're saying is true.
Yeah.
He forces the grappling, right?
Cruz highlighted Merab's impressive number of takedowns and his exceptional cardio, pointing out that these are aspects of his game that haven't been tested in Umar's previous fights. When asked if Umar's inexperience would show against Merab, Cruz disagreed, stating that it's not about experience, but rather what a fighter has done in the gym before stepping into the cage. He emphasized that Merab is likely one of the most tested fighters in the UFC, having trained with Khabib, who Cruz described as a tough and challenging training partner.
25-minute fight.
That's an unreal amount of takedowns. And the cardio, the gas tank, right? This is the things we haven't seen tested with Umar in his past few bouts.
You think his inexperience is going to show in this fight?
Umar's?
Nurmagomedov?
I don't think he's inexperienced. I think it comes down to what we were talking about, which is what you did in the gym before you get into that fight. And I think that the most tested human beings probably in
How do
the
you
UFC.
prepare for Merab, though?
Well, you've trained with Khabib. Khabib's nasty. He's just
Yeah.
miserable to train with. I know you know better than I do, but my guess from watching Bilal shift his entire mentality.
Yes.
It's a mindset that's different with that camp.
Lucas Thomas described the fight as highly competitive, with both fighters bringing something unique to the table. He highlighted Merab's relentless motor, which he believes is unmatched in MMA, while noting that Umar doesn't possess the same type of endurance, though he is well conditioned. Thomas pointed out that Umar's ability to scramble, stop takedowns, and strike on the feet could pose a challenge for Merab. However, he emphasized that Umar has yet to face someone as skilled as Merab. Thomas also praised Merab's toughness, acknowledging his impressive run in the UFC as a testament to his grit.
It's a competitive fight. I mean, it's a competitive fight in either direction. You've got both guys have something to offer the other one. In the case of Merab, as I mentioned, a motor like there has absolutely never been one in MMA. And Umar doesn't necessarily have that, although he is well conditioned. But I think his ability to scramble underneath, to stop takedowns and strike on the feet could be a bit of a problem. However, I'm going to say it one more time, he has not fought a guy as good as Merab, just matter-of-factly. And for Merab, man, you really got to admire the grit here by this guy, really taking on, I mean, just consider his murderer's run up to this point.
Adrian Yanez stated that he's picking Merab to win, mainly based on his superior cardio. He mentioned that skill-wise, he's unsure and finds it difficult to make a clear comparison, but believes Merab's conditioning will be the deciding factor in the fight.
I will pick Merab, and I will base it just completely off of cardio.
Okay.
Just because skill-wise, I don't know. It's all over the place for me.
So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about Khabib's response to Merab? Who do you think will emerge victorious on the fight night? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video.